beautiful landscapes, beautiful cutscenes, beautiful women. 1.1 makes me believe in the future of this game. Let's talk about it. Before we talk about the numerous things this patch does well, let's get the Paimon out of the room. Abby was probably the character that I was the most concerned about, and it is largely due to its similarities to a character such as Paimon. Now, I have not played Genshin Impact. If you want to know everything I do know about it, link in the description to an amazing animation done in Paint. But I have heard the memes, and I do come from Honkai Star Rail originally.
Paimon is not emergency food!
And from what I hear, a large reason why people don't want to play Genshin anymore is due to Paimon. However, I think it's unfair to push your unsolved Paimon trauma onto Abby, because I do not think these characters are the same. Paimon's the worst character ever, and you remind me of him.
Damn, that's crazy.
According to my recording, for the entire story, Abby's only present for about 35 to 45 minutes. And when I look at this Reddit post comparing the two characters, I think it's actually quite unfair. Tiny influence? Yes. High-pitched voice? No. I actually would argue one interesting thing about the English dub, at least, don't know about the Japanese, is that Koro hasn't been going high-pitched voices for a lot of their smaller characters. Abby's voice is not high-pitched, in my opinion. Neither is Verena's or Encore's, and they are children characters. And I actually kind of appreciate that, because I don't really like the high-pitched voices. Annoying? No, I actually disagree. One, the character was not present for very long, and most of the story, they're just gone. They're at the very beginning and the very end. I also don't think at the beginning what they were talking about was that annoying either. Korra decided to go for a slice of life angle, and I think the reason why is that there was a lot to explain about the end of last patch. If you don't remember, last patch ended with Jian basically saying, "We don't have time for this," and then it went to a cutscene where everything was done. So the slice of life part here is kind of their way of explaining a bunch of stuff that happened without us actually having to play through it. For example, the tests and the discussions with Baija and all that stuff. And I'm glad, because if you watched my other video where I reviewed the story, that was one of the worst parts of the story, doing the whole testing crap. Did not like it. Although, with that being said, this did go on for about 35 to 40 minutes. Once again, a bit of a trend with Wuthering Waves dragging out its dialogue. Back to the comparisons. Overconfident and arrogant. Justifiably so. It absorbed a Thorodian blast that was going to destroy us and Jian. Talks for the MC. I had no idea Paimon actually did that. That sounds fucking awful. I'm glad that Rover actually speaks now. I could not stand that. Is a furry? Okay, well, yes. But it could evolve in the future and give us some cool abilities. Maybe like an infinite mount or something. I'm just saying. There's still potential. Let's be real, it's gonna be an anime girl. Ultimately, at the end of the day, this is subjective. I just don't want people to see it and think Paimon and automatically assume it's gonna be the exact same as Paimon. Also, Kura has been very open to feedback, so I think if this thing is annoying, they will change it. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the cutscenes and also just the animations of the characters talking to each other. Now, this might be because I just finished playing the Honkai Star Rail 2.3 story, but I never really noticed how much animation goes into just the dialogue scenes of this game. If you haven't played Star Rail, a lot of the times the character will kind of just be standing there staring at you, not moving at all, and then maybe their face moves a little bit. I do really like Star Rail, by the way. But I think that just the position of playing Star Rail just before this game made me really realize that these characters feel so much more alive and so much more, well, animated. The cutscenes also feel like they were significantly better than in 1.0. And it's not like they were bad in 1.0. I also don't think there was as much yapping in this one compared to sections of 1.0. In my original review of 1.0, I said that the scenes were really dragged out, and while there was a little bit of that present, it does feel like they're starting to scale that back, which is a good thing. I always think the new characters introduced here, and also the existing ones, were developed quite well. Jinsei is obviously the main focus of this story, but I think Chang Li also gets some good character development, and I really like the feeling of us traveling with one or the other, or both of them, throughout the story. Kuro also finally used some passive storytelling, or at least what I call passive storytelling, which is essentially just storytelling outside of cutscenes.
Jinshi, so far, everything we know about the Sentinel is still just speculation.
You were right. But my weakening resonance ability and my connection to the Sentinel leave me no choice but to explore these theories. Whether it's fact or fiction, truth or a lie, I have to confront the Sentinel and see for myself.
Multiple times through this mission, because you're traveling together, you will finish a cutscene, but the characters will have a little conversation together. It's so important for character development, and it doesn't bog you down in the story. Please, please do more of this. I also thought there was a very good balance between gameplay and puzzles and combat. I thoroughly enjoyed the puzzles in this one, both in the exploration and in the main story. I thoroughly enjoyed the combat. I also thought I wouldn't be that excited to explore again, but thankfully I was wrong. As soon as I got into that new zone, I was instantly off exploring. The new loot mapper is 100% a reason for that. Being able to see all of the chests in such a large area is a little overwhelming, but it also makes you very excited. And the whole reversing time mechanic is really cool. Unfortunately, it's probably going to stay to this island. And I'll avoid spoiling anything about the main story just in case, but I think the overall story was quite interesting, maybe a little bit contrived at points, and I'm glad we actually did get some rover development. I was worried that we weren't going to get that to 2.0. I also know that the optimization is still all over the place for people. Some people are reporting that the game runs better this patch, others are reporting it's running worse. I personally didn't have any issues there. We got some very nice quality of life features, although they did miss the wave plate storage system, which is a damn shame. And I assume this is because even though Koro hired a bunch of people, corporations have to do training and all that, so we're probably not going to see the impact of that larger workforce until 1.3. We could see it in 1.2. And we do find out that maybe the Black Shores is the next location for next patch. If so, that'd be kind of crazy, and everybody who wanted this girl is going to go crazy if that's true. Anyway, those are my quick thoughts for 1.1. I'd appreciate it if you give the video a like if you liked it, subscribe for more, let me know what you think below, especially about Abby. If you want to know what I thought about 1.0, click on the video to your left. If you want to know what I know about Genshin Impact, click on the video to your right. Thank you, and until next time.